No, I just don't need it.
Okay.
Tell me what you want. You
I looked
up there and take, not how we operate.
Yes, sir. Well,
Don't take jabs at either side. So, I mean, they admit there may have been a typo. Okay, that's enough. Bring all your documents. I'll do the math. I'll correct whatever orders and
This guy has went through my car twice, my trash, been up there. How many?
is that since the last hearing or?
No, since the last year, as soon as you said, don't come up there, he put a big floodlight on the front door. He came down. It had to be that day or the next day. But this guy's out of control. I really.
You know anything about the floodlight?
Criminal charges. I've already had a police report. It's just nonstop with it. And as we spoke about the receipts from December last time, here's the truth. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie.
I don't have all the evidence before me, and I'm not gonna have a trial right now.
Go and ask him to show me on the cameras. And all of a sudden, the police officer got a call and said, I cannot do that right now, but it was noted. I have no idea what his, I don't
So
know.
what do you want me to do? You guys came to me. You guys operate on my schedule at this point. I've set it a lot quicker than I normally would. So I'm setting it for the 30th. That's when I'll decide it. I'm done. Hello.
How are you?
What? How are you doing?
Day.
All right, this is the date set. A writ has been issued. I had no writ without a. And there's the hearing to issue the order of eviction. Where are you, Ms. Sheba?
Let's see. I talked to my social worker at U of M Senior Housing before I talked to you today. And I went over what I thought was the thing to report to you. First of all, my income is not enough for an apartment where you have to have 3 times the amount of income for the rent. Does that make sense? Okay. I have just started to look for a long-term permanent housing, an extended stay type place. I saw one yesterday, and I'm getting in touch with the manager of the same company. She's at Briarwood. I just left a message for her. She's going to get back to me and tell me when I could come look at a ground floor handicap unit. I'm having trouble. I need grab bars for the bathroom. Once I hope to see that either tomorrow or Sunday. It's up to her to let me come and see this. Once everything is settled and I've moved with my family from Detroit helping me, I will be sure and contact Jillian, the attorney, to arrange starting to pay back the amount of money that I owe Sparrowwood.
All right.
I think that's about it. And I would like very much to please have another week to stay in my apartment to get rid of stuff. I don't know where I'm moving to, so I don't know how to pack. I'm trying to get everything to this new living space and then put the minimal amount in a storage unit that won't cost that much. So that's it.
Your Honor, plaintiffs
Yes.
requesting that the order of eviction be issued immediately. We are at a point now where the outstanding balance is $11,890. It's been 6 months since we filed the case. There's been no payments made at all by Ms. Shemiat. While we are, I feel for her in her situation. There's been no payments made, and our client now is owed a ton of money, and we need possession of the property back immediately.
Understood. All right. I've looked at everything. I'm going to indicate the writ may issue. I will sign that. I will indicate that the writ, while I'm signing it, cannot be executed until the 31st.
31st of March.
31st of March, but you got to get out, Miss Shemiat. You got to. I'm doing that so you can at least orderly get your stuff out.
Thank you. I will have that done. And I don't understand why the balance went up. It was 92 something. $9,200 and now it's up $11,000 or something. The rent is only, well, is a lot, but a great place to live at Sparrowwood is, the rent's $13.50. So I don't understand why it's 11.
Well, it was almost 8,000. They're not asking for, well, they are asking for a money judgment.
I'm sorry, I can't hear
They
you.
are asking for a money judgment, and I think I issued that previously in any event, but,
Yes.
but yeah, you know, you can go, because it was 92 when they submitted the writ, so
Yeah.
it's gone up a month. That's why.
Was that in February?
Go ahead, Ms.
The prior balance with February rent was $9,200. The lease is up, so holdover rent applies starting in March, which is double rent, which is the 2,600 was added for March. So that's where we
What
are.
are,
Double rent for March because it was a holdover provision because your lease was up.
because it was a holdover?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But you can go in there and work that out with them afterwards.
Well, I'll be sure and call Jillian when I'm settled in my new place and start paying everything off. I have every intention of doing that.
I know you. All right.
Thank you very much. It was great to see you all.
Yes. Sure.
I'm going to miss my Friday afternoon visits.
Great.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
You do the same.
Beautiful out there.
Well, the best.
Dear, appreciate it.
Sir, your name?
Lawrence Hunt.
All right. And what do we have as balance? This
Your
one?
Honor, the balance is $2,998.45.
Did you pay the 1,600?
I have it with me.
Pardon?
I have the $1,600 right now.
How come you didn't get it to them right now?
I got paid today, so I
Okay.
give it to them today.
All right. And that's still gonna leave you about 1,300. When are you gonna have that done?
That leaves me to 1,300.
Well, you're at 29, almost 3,000 right now. If you give them
Oh, that's
100,
that's what
gonna
that's
have,
the court fee. Then that's
yeah.
Please see what today is. So the balance is how much again, sir?
Well, if you pay them 1,600
Mhm.
and you're at basically about 3,000, you got about 4,000 or 1,400 you need to pay to them.
1,400. I can get that done by what is that, 12? The 12th? What is next 2 Fridays from now?
That's what I thought you were looking at. So you're talking the third.
No, wait. Oh, the next Friday after that.
Well, if you got paid today, and you get paid every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, I get paid. So,
Be the third.
how long can you give me to the
Well, I can get you to the third, probably. So,
for the balance, the rest of the balance?
well, here's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I can get you to the third. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find that there's not a tribal issue. I'm gonna issue a judgment. So to lock the figure in for just March and not include April rent. Because if I kick this out, you're gonna be dealing with April rent.
Okay, so I'm sorry. What do you mean by locking it out? What do you mean?
Locking the figure in for just so that we're just talking about March. Because if I adjourn this out into April, then April's rent.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So March.
Follow me?
Yeah, so March would be how much the balance would be just for March?
Through the end of March, you go to 29.98.45.
29.98. That's with the 1,600.
No, that doesn't include the 1,600. But you haven't paid that to them yet.
Right,
So once you pay that, then you're gonna owe about 1,400.
right. You want that at the end of March?
No, what I'm indicating is what would happen is it would be the end of March.
Mhm.
I'm looking to give you additional time that I think would take you out next paycheck on the third.
Okay, I see. And I was hoping that the following date, that's the 7th, is the 3rd.
The 10th. But the
Yeah.
10th, the problem is the 10th, that's not your pay week. If you get paid every other week.
I get paid every week.
Every week?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the only place I'm gonna go really is to the 3rd, because even if I adjourned it out a week.
Okay, I got you. I got you. So the third, $1,400
Yeah, you pay the 16 and you got 1,400 by the 3rd.
by the third.
All right. So I'm gonna find no tribal issue after hearing. I'm gonna issue a judgment for possession. Now I'm issuing this for the total amount of the 29.9845. You go pay them the 16, then you're gonna owe the balance. But rather than it being the 30th that you that paid, I'm gonna make it the 3rd.
The
Oh.
third of the remaining balance. If I'm short, then
What?
I'm a little worried about being short on the third by the third.
How much? Of the 14, how much do you think you can pay by the 3rd?
By the third, I can at least have another 1,000.
Here's what I'll do. The writ will issue April 3rd. If defendant pays what will really be 2,600, which is the 1,600 plus we pay $1,600 today
Mhm.
to them and pay $1,000 by the 3rd. The writ date would be extended to the 10th.
Sounds great.
But that does not include or factor in April rent. Still gonna owe April rent.
Right.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Your Honor, and then there's gonna be a money judgment entered in the full amount as well, right?
Was there a request for the money judgment?
Yes, yes,
Yes, a money judgment would issue for the same amount.
thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Strong Future Homes versus Ashley Womack.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Your name?
Ashley Womack.
All right. And what's their claim in this case?
Your Honor, this is an action for non-payment of rent. The outstanding balance is $2,272.28, which includes court costs.
All right. Ms. Womack, how are you intending on getting this paid?
The last court session, you told me to reach out to Hog.
Yeah.
I did that. I got an appointment on I think the 27th at 3
You have an appointment on the 27th?
through Hog
What time?
at 3.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, the 26th.
26 at 3. All right. Well, they send us that sheet, so let's do this. If you have a Hawk appointment on the 26th, on that Thursday.
Correct.
All right. Then I'll adjourn this out to March 27th, 2026 at 3 p.m. And hopefully we'll have some news by then. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Court recalls the case of Hamilton Crossing versus Tierra Pratt.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Good afternoon, Judge. Thank you for passing it for a second, getting us back up here. Brant Lashinsky, 84238, counsel for defense. Ms. Pratt approaching. State your name for the court.
All right, where are we on?
Judge, if I may.
Yes.
We can do a long version or a short version. The short version is my client is prepared to pay everything owed currently to plaintiff by March 31st. We do dispute the amount in question stated by plaintiff's counsel or by plaintiff. It's not a huge difference, but there is some inconsistencies in the court paperwork and in the ledger that leads me to believe that there's some slight miscalculations. That said, Ms. Pratt's perfectly prepared to pay the outstanding balance by the 31st in full.
And what do you have as the outstanding balance? Is
I have $2,269, Your Honor.
that correct or?
I have $2,650, which brings her out to today. So there's this is a case where there was a conditional order of dismissal from a 2025 case, and there's a new case, excuse me, that's been filed essentially for March rent. There was an affidavit of noncompliance submitted on the COD when it was not complied with, together with a judgment and a writ. So what's due through to today is $2,650, which includes court costs. I believe that what opposing counsel is referring to is the conditional order of dismissal that was entered into on August 28th of 25 on the 2025 case. In paragraph 3 stated, as of August 26th, the outstanding balance that defendant owed to plaintiff was $3,680. Then in paragraph 4B, as typical for our CODs, where it includes how they're going to make that payment, it stated that in addition to monthly rent, defendant shall pay the outstanding arrearage of $3,454. So there was a typo in the amount, but the numbers that are listed out in subsections 1 through 6 total the amount that matches the ledger and matches paragraph 3 of the $3,680.
Okay. So 2650, if she gets that paid, she's clear through March.
Yes.
Okay, which is a lesser figure than what you gave me, I think, Count.
It's a little more, Your Honor, actually. That's the difference. I had $2,269. We were proceeding under paragraph 3B of the conditional dismissal, as counsel did say. It says here in paragraph 3B, defendant shall pay the outstanding arrearage of $3,454 plus a $615 payment a month.
Are we agreeing on this? Or is she agreeing to pay it or not? Because otherwise I don't have to listen to this and we can just set it for everything and I'll make the determination of COD, man.
Yes, sir.
It's my,
Understood, Your Honor. And thank you for that. That's what we're asking for.
what do you think?
We would like to have an ability to have Your Honor make a determination on whether she owes $2,269 or the amount that counsel quoting. Other than that, there's no dispute. I just can't have her pay an extra $400 if she doesn't, especially with.
But you'd be able to tell from the numbers in this COD if there's a typo. I mean, that's, and I'll do it, but
Judge, if I'm,
I don't mind setting a hearing for me to do that.
okay,
I mean, I think looking at it, one would be able to tell if there's a typo in the amount, which means that it's not that she's paying more. It's just, and if there's a typo in the court's order, I'll correct it.
Okay.
And I've got the authority to correct my own order. So I mean, we can
Judge,
do it the hard way, we can do it the easy way. It doesn't,
well, I would say, I would characterize it not as the hard way, if you're on respect,
well,
but
I can look at it however I
Yes,
want.
sir.
What do you want to tell?
okay. In addition to this issue, there are at least 3 or 4 other inconsistencies in the ledger, in the conditional dismissal, in service to my office, and we would like to be heard on that.
14th of April.
And Your Honor, I also want to sort of address a couple of things that opposing counsel is indicating. So this conditional order of dismissal and the affidavit of noncompliance, even if we don't have an agreement as to the amount, we can agree that she hasn't paid the full amount. So she's in default on this. It was adjourned from last time because Ms. Pratt was going to pay the amount, and that still hasn't happened. So even if it's, 200 less or whatever the figure is, she still hasn't paid it. So there's still a default on the COD regardless of March rent. So plaintiff is entitled to a judgment.
In other words, she's in jeopardy of getting the writ and judgment filed and at the same time.
It has been filed, Your Honor. In fact, after last week's hearing before Your Honorable Court on the 13th, last Friday, we adjourned to today, and the next day she was served with a 72-hour notice to get out. They tried to put her out last weekend before this proceeding had even been concluded. Furthermore, if I may, Judge, she did get this demand for possession that states that she owed for this upcoming hearing $2,684. I was given two ledgers last week by counsel here in this court, both indicating in their writing circled $262,684. Ms. Pratt, the day before the first hearing on the 26th of February, submitted $2,684. There may be some communication issues, Judge, respectfully. In addition to typos and bad math, there's been some communication and some process.
Don't need the thing.
No disrespect,
Yes.
Judge.
Just, no, I just don't need it.
Okay,
Tell me what you want. You
I'd like,
up there and take, not how we operate.
yes, sir. Well,
Don't take jabs at each side. So, I mean, they admit there may have been a typo. Okay, that's enough.
understood.
I'll set this for a special final settlement conference, March 30th, 2026, 9 a.m. special time in person. Bring all your documents. I'll do the math. I'll correct whatever orders and
Thank you very much, Judge.
thank you.
Understood. Thank you.
Your Honor, what was the time of the settlement conference?
9 on the 30th. I'm setting it for a special time on a Monday.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Otherwise, I don't have anything until the mid-April.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that it for you, Mr.?
Yes,
That
that
is.
is it.
It is. All right. Have a great
Thank
weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Court calls the case of Orchard Grove versus Patrick Anderson.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Brent Dinger for plaintiff.
Patrick Anderson. Like to proceed, raise your rating. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Go ahead.
This time we would ask for a default possession only judgment. Right now, the outstanding rent to retain is $305.68. There is cost owed of $193 for a redemptive total of $498.68. This would have a writ date of 3/30/2026. I do have a proposed order if I may approach.
All right, yes, judgment to the plaintiff. By default for possession, redemption amount is in the amount requested if the writ issued in 10 days. Have signed your judgment. Court calls the case of Orchard Grove versus Nathan Allport.
Brent Dinger for plaintiff.
Living there and my dad that's passed away. Remember from like
Yes, I remember. Come on up. Your name?
Lynn Allport Gang?
All right.
On this one, I've got 1665.58 as far as rent, 271 of cost. So that puts the grand total for today at 1936.58, Your Honor.
1936.58.
Correct.
All right.
I am working with Autumn Orla at Hawk,
Hawk, okay.
just waiting for the documents from Patrice to come back, and she sees no reason why they cannot pay my rent for February, March, and they're trying to help me pay April up,
Gotcha. I got you. Fair to. Okay. So you're working with Hawk.
Yes.
Is this the one that we have?
And I did file SCR, but I haven't heard back on that yet.
Okay. We have a notification that they indeed thank you. Yeah. They're just awaiting documents from the tenant. And you've already supplied those?
Yes, I
Okay.
did, and I signed all of them already. She had to have me re-sign some documents yesterday and I emailed them right back.
Got it.
Talked to her right before I got here.
They say once they have those, when they might be able to give an answer or?
Not give me a time frame, but they said there was some liaison lady here from,
No, they're not here. They
okay,
process on us. So they provided us with a document here that does indicate that you had an appointment on March 18th. They're awaiting documents from you. That's the last status report.
I
But-
did,
You told me that you supplied them.
yeah,
Okay. All right. So what I will do is this, I'll just adjourn it out 1 week. We'll see where we're at.
okay.
Okay?
Now, is that gonna be in person also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
March 27th, 2026 at 12 noon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Judge,
Good weekend.
have a good week.
Grace Edward Jobby versus Vance Witness. All right, state your names.
Rajabi. President Rajabi.
Vance Wicks.
All right, where are we now on this, folks?
We're in the same position as last week, Your Honor. We're just seeking the amount of rent and possession of the apartment.
What about from your standpoint?
Standpoint of my lot, Steve.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your Honor, up until this guy entered the picture, can prove via bank statements that we never had a problem with me and her. And this guy has went through my car twice, my trash, been up there. How many?
Is that since the last hearing or?
Yeah, since the last hearing, as soon as you said don't come up there, he put a big floodlight on the front door. He came down. It had to be that day or the next day. Like, this guy's out of control. I really.
You know anything about the floodlight?
Criminal charges. I've already had a police report. It's just nonstop with it. And as we spoke about the receipts from December last time, here's the truth. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. And Your Honor, I do want to say this. Therapy. Dr. Brower, complex PTSD. He's fully aware of this. My last roommate.
Notice what just happened here. The judge is drawing a hard line between allegations and evidence. Both sides are throwing out emotional claims, accusations, even police involvement. But in court, none of that automatically wins the case. The judge wants documents, proof, and testimony presented the proper way at trial. And honestly, this moment shows how quickly landlord-tenant disputes can spiral from unpaid rent into personal conflict and mistrust. One side feels harassed, the other feels frustrated, and the courtroom suddenly turns into a pressure cooker. But the key takeaway? The judge refuses to rush a final ruling without hearing all the evidence first. That's courtroom procedure over courtroom emotion, and it's exactly why trials exist in the first place.
6 months ago, hung himself. I found him in the closet. And all these nights, I stayed up all night because I hear this guy screaming at the top of his lungs. It is my therapy, just my privacy, everything that I have rights. I've read through the renters' rights in Michigan law. Like,
All right, folks, here's what I'm gonna do. Because you guys can't come to your agreement, I'm just gonna have to force one on you. Or do one. So I'll set a non-jury trial in this matter for March 30th, 2026 at 10 a.m.
sir,
That work?
Yes.
sir, is there any possible way to do it in the afternoon? I can't take no days off work, sir.
I don't have many afternoons. What, do I have anything?
In a later date, maybe?
Hang on a second.
Sorry.
Yeah, the afternoon.
On the 30th
Yeah.
at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. on March 30th?
Yep.
And thank you, Mr.
Is
Simpson.
there any way you would reconsider making a judgment today? I don't believe he's been there all week. I
don't have all the evidence before me. And I'm not gonna have a trial right now.
Your Honor,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Your Honor, I would love to say something. This gentleman called the police again. I said I was in the apartment. And when the police officer came, he said that he's telling me that I was in his apartment. I said he has told me several times that he has cameras in his apartment. Go and ask him to show me on the cameras. And all of a sudden, the police officer got a call and said, I cannot do that right now, but it was noted. I have no idea what his, I don't
So
know.
what do you want me to do?
Would we be assured that it would be over as of next week? Because I'm missing.
I'm gonna, look. You guys came to me. You guys operate on my schedule at this point. I've set it a lot quicker than I normally would. So I'm setting it for the 30th. That's when I'll decide it. I'm done. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Simpson.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Court?